So in this scene, we're analyzing Rosie Perez's character kind of dance to the lyrics of Fight the Power by Public Enemy. So we see her in two main outfits. We see her in this red dress and black belt and in her boxing outfit. With her red dress, we get a background a little more subdued, just kind of neutral orange lighting and a common kind of neighborhood street. And with this boxing outfit, we get harsh red lighting and this black and white spray painted background, definitely a more alarming scene. And I think these two different settings that they're putting her in really remind me of how the movie begins and then how the movie ends, starting with a pure day in the life kind of story following Mookie to the end of the day and the next morning and the aftermath of this explosive fight that led to death and violence. And the lighting is very red. She's physically punching the screen. She's shouting out to the person watching this movie like this is something to pay attention to and this is how we're being treated, like this is something we need to notice. And while this isn't a main point in the movie, I also did want to touch on this character's femininity. And this movie isn't necessarily about women of color, but I think it's important for this specific character to see her struggles with being sexualized by Mookie. There are multiple times in the movie where she comments on how Mookie's never around and he only comes around to have sex with her and then he doesn't show up for a week. And while this movie isn't all about women, I think this scene is important because we're not only watching her dance to these lyrics, fight the power, for her race, but also for her sexuality. She's fighting to have her seat at the table, excluding her sex appeal and excluding that people might see her for only being a sexual being. But additionally, Spike Lee kind of fought the power with this film by bringing people's attention to the beauty of Black communities and then giving us a very unexpected ending. His commentary on how quickly white people can go to friend to enemy in this movie is probably his biggest controversy. In the past Hollywood films, it's always African Americans working to become accepted by their white peers. Well, in this film, it's the opposite. Sal has to be accepted by this community. And originally, by playing a white savior role, he was kind of able to slide in very, unnoticed. But it's shocking how quickly he changed, and that's really what this movie's bringing attention to. It shows how for society, it's easy, for Black people's lives to be just turned upside down and white people to go unscathed. In the final scene, Sal gets all his money back from insurance and no one bats an eye. So, you're fighting your power for your seat at the table as a Black individual because you're just not given the same opportunities that white people are. A specific line from the song that I think kind of really sums up this whole movie is people, we are the same. No, we're not, because we don't know the game. And I think this really sums up the entire message Spike Lee's trying to convey, and that's that white men like Sal have a seat at their table and have been playing the game in America since day one. They're comfortable, and while white people might think that they have given the Black community that spot, they really haven't. It's a completely different ballpark. Black people in America really don't get the same luxuries white people do. And with this fight the power, it's like it's fighting the fact that the white man is always going to have the upper hand in this scenario. We watch this, intense dance to this intense lyrics, and it just brings out the emotions that Spike Lee is really trying to convey in this movie. And it's that, white people get all the comfort while Black people really, really don't get the same, the same treatment. And I think that that's what Spike Lee is really trying to just convey to all of his viewers.